All right, so we're going to do we're going to go over door knocking and the in-home, the scripts for mortgage protection, but I'm drawing up a little map here to go over the door knocking. I want you guys to go to the door, you show the lead, and if you have it in the form that Diane just said, because it's a tele-lead, then you're going to want to just say, hey, look, you had a call come in the other day about final expense. Diane, for you, it's 2 weeks ago. Heather, for you, it's as long as you can remember back. Who cares if it was a month ago? Just say, this was a month ago. I'm sorry, I was so busy. But you know what? Tell them you were right down the street. I'm telling you, this works. I was right down the street, point. I was right down the street near a neighbor of yours, right down the road, or around a bend. And so they don't know the direct people on the street. And I thought I'd just stop by and make sure that you got this information. Now, keep talking. Don't let the person talk yet. That's where I'm good at, is a lot of people in sales in the sales industry believe that you have to listen a lot to get a lot out of your client. I'm the opposite. I believe you need to talk a lot. You need to get all the information out. You need to hear what you ask for, like an attorney or a doctor. They only want to hear what the hell they need from you. They don't need to hear your life story. And once you start getting life stories out of people, that's where you lose them. And now they're in control. So stay in control at the table and only get the questions you have. So guys, let's write down some questions that you may ask. I mean, this is my part. I really need to do certain things that I'm only getting involved with as we continue this stuff. So very important questions that would be asked in the home. You know, like how long you lived here. Let's get that little rapport part started, you know, and then moving on to the sales part, which is like, you know, do both you have Social Security coming in? Do you hear how stupid I sounded when I asked it? Do you both have Social Security coming in? You know, I literally am acting that way because I'm generally don't want them to be thinking that I'm asking personal questions when I am. So that strategy works very, very well. And you guys, just to get to the door is an easy thing. You have the address. So there's no excuse not to door knock. When we get through this phase, and then you come back and say that it was all, then you can come back to me and tell me that you did everything you could, okay? Now you're going to show the lead. Diane, for you, I can hear your voice over the telephone. And there's work that needs done. And I taught this, I don't think you were on Saturday, Diane. Maybe you were. But I think it was Saturday that I said tonality is important. And it is a tonality thing. And then enough education. Diane, I can hear it in your voice that you sound a little leery about the business. Heather, I can hear that she sounds confident about and this has nothing to do with you, Diane. I only am here to help because God knows at one time I would never speak on a webinar about this stuff. I couldn't. I didn't know anything. And, you know, when I used to pass the ball to me at training in homes and say, like the sales rep would pass it on to me to talk to the client. And I would be like a deer in the headlights. No shit. I would not know what to say. So what I need you to get to is education. And I need you to dive into it and don't tell me you have, because if you have, I would hear it. And I mean, I want you to be product smart. And I think if you can become product smart, then that'll put you in a position to be smart in the home and not have to worry about being so salesy. Because if you know the product, then that is the sale too, besides the rapport. So you're okay. The rest of it's just ask the questions on the apps, you know? And if you guys do, get the script list filled. There's a cheat sheet that they put up that I think it was on GroupMe. Get that cheat sheet off of there and know what you're going to write. And if you don't have LSW, it's probably killing your business anyway. But you need to learn how to write that product before you go in and hurt people, because cost of insurance could hurt them too. So when you show up to the lead, you show up at the door of the lead. Hi, Mrs. Jones. My name's Jason. I know that you had received. I know that you had received a call about 2 weeks ago on final expense information. I was just down the street. I am the guy that has the information. I've been slammed with this stuff. Could I set an appointment to sit with you and Mr. Jones? Or if today's good, I have about 30 minutes to an hour right now where I can get you this information. I didn't stop talking. I didn't go to the door and say, hi, Mr. Jones, I know you requested final expense. Is that true? You know, I didn't ask a question. I'm telling them, Diane, that's where you need to get strong. And you need to go to that door knowing that you know how to help them. Because when you know how to help them, then you're good. It's a no-brainer. You know exactly what to do at the door. Well, let me say, the door and the phones become a lot easier. So get to the door, show the lead if you can, and show the list of people. If you have a list of people, just show the list of people and write on it. Write dates, times, so it looks like you're busy. Just don't show a blank piece of paper that has a bunch of people on it. Show a list of people that has writing on it. Use these highlighting markers, highlight stuff, and get to that door and say, hi, Mrs. Jones. I know that you had received a phone call last week on final expense information. I'm the guy that handles the area. I was right down the road, and I wanted to make sure that you had received the information. So I could set an appointment to get you the information, but I'll tell you what, I have your packet with me. I could go over it right now. I have an extra 30 minutes to an hour. Does that work? Look, this takes a lot of balls at first. Like this is another trial and error thing to where when you do this enough, it's still uncomfortable for me a little bit to do it. Who the hell wants to go to somebody's door and knock on it? But here's what I always remember when I'm walking to the door, that they said yes. They actually requested this. I'm not cold knocking their door. They said, okay. I'm being kind enough to give it to them. I'm in the area. I might as well do it. The other way to do door knocking is by setting your appointments and then also setting up a door knocking list. But, you know, Diane, I wouldn't, what I would do too, Heather, Diane, and Brian, and whoever's listening on telephone, I would use a different telephone number. I would use somebody else's number. I would try to change my voice a little bit. I would do something to make it so they think it's somebody else. That's a simple strategy. If you said you've done that, well, I'm not talking about 2 phones. I'm not talking about 3 phones. Keep it going. I don't know what you got to do, man. If you only got a certain amount of deep things to work with, there's only so much you can do. And then it's dead. This is change the phones up and then change your strategy up. That's this part, door knocking. Show the lead. Get to the door. Once you're in the house, the rest is sales strategy, product knowledge, knowing what they have. So again, build rapport to the point of trust. How long does that take? 5-10 minutes. While you're doing that, split your page down the middle, write their names at the top, write their ages, split them 2 in half, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, or Mr. Jones and beneficiary, or Mrs. Jones beneficiary, whoever takes care of the shit. And then when you have a lead flow coming in again, you can start calling again. But right as of now, ladies, that's the only option you have really is to do that. And, you know, and you got one choice. You could switch the phone up again tonight. You spend time right now and get on the phone after this and then try your rear end off. Now, dialing is a science, you know, but seriously, if there's people in that list you haven't reached, then those are the people that have not been sold yet, obviously. You haven't seen them. You haven't talked to them. So who's to say that list is bunk when you haven't talked to anybody? If you talk to, that's why I needed you guys to write down. It's real simple. Here's how this works. If you buy, it's leads. And then from there, it's dials. And then from there, it's sets. This is, you purchased how many leads, how many dials did you make, and how many sets did you set? And then how many sits did you have out of the sets? And out of the sits, how many sales did you have? And from the sales, how many referrals did you get? I'm going to put this board back up when I'm done writing. So you have to show the lead at the door. Remember, don't show a blank sheet of paper. Write on it. Put some highlighting markers on it. Put some dates on it. Get a door knocking list together. Google Map that shit or MapQuest or whatever else is out there these days. Put it together and go try it. It's not going to kill you. It's training. And again, you're only doing what they asked you to do. You're delivering it. It's little something you may not want to do, but if you can envision each one of those being worth $500, it makes it a little easier. So what I want you to do is write $500 to $1,000 on each lead, and I want you to highlight it. $500 to $1,000. Every time you see a lead, I want you to write $500 to $1,000. And then when you get good at this, you can write $1,000 to $3,000 on the top of the lead. And that's literally what it comes out to be. But Alyssa's been dialing now for 40 minutes straight, okay? 40 minutes straight, no breaks. She's been dialing, talking to people, taking the objections, taking the hits, and staying in the same attitude. And that's very important. And I know this about Diane. I know it. I know it's in your tone. So I know if I had those leads, that I proved it the other day with a guy that got on the phone with his leads. He couldn't set any, and I was able to get one for him to call later, and I was able to set one for him, which he sold this week. So I know that it is in the tonality. They're not respecting your authority over the phone. So you have to find a way to get a little tougher, and there's books on that. There's audio, there's visual on that, and YouTube has a lot of stuff on that. You could just simply type into YouTube how to be a great appointment setter, how to be a great salesman, and that's how you have to do it, Diane. I know it's the authority that you bring, but I also know this, Diane. I know it's within your product knowledge. When you're in the home, there's only so much that you're able to do by. I don't know if I lost Diane or if she's pissed at me, but I think I lost her because she never hangs up on me. But she's off. Well, anyway, with Diane, it is that way anyway. Whether she's pissed, she needs to hear the truth, because week in and week out, it's the same thing. And 20 leads, guys, is not going to cut it. She's not going to cut it. So,
I'll door knock with her.
What's that?
I'll go door knocking with her. I don't care.
Then that's what I'm talking about. Then that's what you guys should mix those leads together, and then she could use your help, Heather. And then, Patrick doesn't really want anything to do with her to be, not do with her, but in a sense where it's hard to work with somebody that's not purchasing leads. I mean, it just makes it so tough for us to do that. But if you have somebody that's doing like you do, Heather, and you truly know it is a financial situation for now, I don't ever hear you making excuses like she does. She'll text, I'm broke, this and that. I haven't seen that from you. So it's good that you don't mention that to people, because we have been through it and we don't want to hear it. We just don't. We've been through it. We know the worst. I'm going to tell you something. It didn't get any worse than my situation. And here I am 2 years later sitting in Florida. You know what I mean?
I will use old leads. I don't care. I will use old leads. I'll use any leads I have. I got sales off of leads from June. I'm not scared to use old leads.
That's right. And me and Alyssa, when we were at TD Financial at Dan Osty's place, we only had the choice of doing Washington County and counties that were 2 hours away, because Dan Osty works it in counties, and we couldn't go anywhere in our own neighborhood. And you want to get away from Allegheny County. So we did everything we could. We traveled 2-3 hours away, spend the day there, but our leads were literally 2 years old. That's the leads we chose to purchase because they were 50 cents a pop. So what I think everybody needs to do is get busy on GroupMe, get the upline to recognize that we want leads that are cheap, and get people busy that aren't afraid to dial old leads, period. You know what I mean? I can only be one voice for everybody, but if I got many voices, then there were many voices. You know what I mean? So let me hang this back up so I can get this back to you here. But if you want, I'm going to give you Diane's number, okay?
I have it.
Oh, you do? Okay. Do you know her?
Yeah, we've seen each other at the meetings, and she's called me and asked me questions and stuff like that before, but we've never gone out and worked together. I kind of got stuck working with somebody else, and I don't do that anymore, but I'll go out with Diane. That's fine.
I'll tell you what, Heather, you're going to notice something about yourself too. I do these things. I don't get paid to do this stuff, but it enhances myself like to another level when I do these trainings. And it makes me study more because I have to be prepared to know the questions that everybody asks. So when you're in that, put yourself in that position. This is literally a strategy of the rich, the wealthy. It's like almost going the extra mile. It's doing things that you're not getting paid for. It's in Napoleon Hill's book. So, you know, when you do this, trust me, you're going to reap the rewards of doing it with her too, because you're going to learn from training somebody, which is an amazing thing. And then if Heather can get that woman to make money, but you need to make sure that you're also focused on you. So you come first at all times. Make sure that you understand that, and then make them second. When you get to a position of making a six-figure income, then you can make others first, and then you can be second, and then your income will go up from there. But like this board says, door knock, show the lead. Where the hell's my phone? I'm gonna try to see if she really has bad airways, and that's why she gets off. So, but most importantly is if you piss somebody off, and let's say Diane is pissed at me, then that's okay, because that's what she needs to hear, because either one of two things, she's wasting her own time or she's wasting our time. And I can't train somebody that's not interacting every week too. It's not like she's here every week. So I got to be honest with her. But when I say doing everything that I've asked, that's the only way I know how to make others money, is by the sacrifices of being here on a Sunday and being here whenever you have to schedule things around it. Heather, you've done nothing less but that by being at parties and you know, doing whatever it takes. Reschedule anything when it comes down to this thing if it's that important. You were cutting in and out, and then the screen went blank. I can't get back on. I hope I'm only one. It's very windy, and I believe that's her. I'll tell her I recorded it. Maybe I don't want to show her this one because it was kind of rough on her. But I really, truly, at the end of the day, want to help her, though. I mean, I'm not trying to do this because I'm just a freaking jagoff. Here's what I know, is that I know if people made these little small changes. When you take an older woman like that, and like Alyssa, and even myself, you're so used to your ways that you've been doing things, it's hard to cut out the things that you're used to. How about like quitting smoking? I mean, that's a terrible habit, and God knows I've done it. God knows that people I know do it, and God knows that those people have quit, and so have I. So it's not an impossible feat. And I took that money, I told her, I said, put it towards leads. And it was, you know, that is an extra 20 leads a month, by the way, for that habit. So there's all kinds of ways that we can fish money out of ourselves if we just try to. I highly recommend that everybody writes a budget down, knows their exact numbers, and doesn't lie to themselves. Here's how you don't lie to yourself. When you keep every receipt for every day that you spend money, every week that you spend money, and every month, and then you add them up every day and you jot it down, and then you add it up every week, and then you add it up every month. And that way you can't lie to yourself about where the lead money's going. And that's another strategy to finding money, because we all have an extra couple $100 that we wastefully spend usually. So mortgage protection, I believe, is a game changer. What products to use? Well, there's American Amicable, there is the LSW, of course, and if they don't fall into those two usually, which I use, the Gerber's, Mutual of Omaha, the GUL Express. These products are so important. Heather, did you get the link that I gave you? Unique Writers?
I did, and I registered, but I'm waiting for, I guess, Patrick to get it approved.
No, I gave you my login.
Oh, no, I told you I couldn't see that on chat yesterday, remember?
Oh, let me see if I can do it now. I'm sorry. Alyssa and her cap lock tab. It's uniquewriters.com, of course. And then the login is Muscle Diva 1 that's not mine, by the way. Again, that's Alyssa's. Muscle Diva 1, which totally crippled. That's the login. And password, Securus1. That's gonna take you to another level. Do you see that? You guys see that on the?
Yeah, I can see it this time.
Okay, great. Log in under me and go print out everything it has to do with this, just for final expense right now. There's a door knocking script in there. There's everything that you need is in there. Well, I better show you guys how to use it. Are you guys in front of your computers now?
I'm on my laptop, yeah.
Okay, then why don't we get me to, let me see something. I think I'm able to share this screen somehow. Share screen. Desktop. Oh, this would be too cool if I can do this. Okay, so maybe it's this. You're not able to see what I'm doing, or can you?
Yes.
You can see my Google?
Yep.
Oh, cool. www.
I was freaking out. I was like, what is happening to my computer?
Oh my God, it's so cool that I just learned how to do this, by the way. All right, so it's Muscle Diva 1 of Verizon. All right, so if you guys don't have it up, we can go through it. I'm going to go to Agents. I'm going to go to UW University. I'm going to whack over to here to Carriers and Products Knowledge, but I'm going to go down to Training Resource Library first. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Document Archive. Says Final Expense Document Archive. Wait till you see this. Watch. Look at this. All of it. Boom. Look at all that. Check this out. Final Expense Mission Statement. Become the best of the best. Final Expense, it's all about value, truth, the moment. Final Expense Action Plan. Your target market, reaching your target market. There's a sample lead, prospecting game. Let's see where we need to go to. Let's check out this. I want to stick to this door knocking.
So should we use this and Pipe Drive or just this?
Oh, you can use them both. I don't really, the Pipe Drive is what? The broker's training, is that what you mean?
I think so. And if you buy leads through a certain source, you can like have all your leads like in there and like progress on each one or something. But I haven't done it because I haven't ordered leads through that source.
Oh yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be too concerned about that. That's like going to be okay later on in life. Just right now, just do it the old school way of just collecting your leads. And I really didn't get I forget, Heather, what it's all about in there. I don't think it's necessary I'd be using it. But right now, I'm going to talk about this door knocking scripts. When you cannot reach a lead by phone, you have to call multiple times, various times. And hi, my name is Jason, your local final expense specialist. You filled out this form. You don't have a form to show with these teleleads is the unfortunate part. So it's okay to use this script. These are developed by multi-million-dollar rep and his business partners have put that university together, and it works. The words, do you remember filling this out and sending it in? Can't be used with our leads. So you got to kind of scratch some things. Lean into them a little bit when you talk and assume they do remember. You know, things like that. You guys can study that a little more. But I think that I find mine a little simpler. And well, I don't want to say simpler. That's pretty easy. But the fact that I let them know that I was only right down the road and that it was no trouble to come there, that I was already there. I just took it. Here's not even the fact that it's trouble to get there, because you kind of want it to be trouble to be there, you know, because in their mind, you want to think, oh shit, this person just traveled my house. They got the stuff on them. the reason I do it is because I want them to think that I'm with somebody else already. Somebody else down the road has done it before you. And I figured that way may work. You may find out that something else down the line works better than that. Delivery notifications. They have them on this website somewhere where you can order the stickers for free. They send them to your home. And this place is how I found out about the $3 mortgage protection leads. So I asked John Spinner if I could buy leads off of here, because they have here, Lead Smart for final expense. A leads, B leads, pre-approach leads, senior no warm market leads. We really need to find a market that is a little different, so we can have, like, what I'm saying is we need more lead opportunity. We can't suggest to people that the $15, even $6 leads is going to work, because it doesn't. Unfortunately, people aren't trained enough. If you can see, this is where you can train on all the carriers, basically. So if there's a carrier that isn't on there, it's just because it's not on there. And this Legacy is outside of some of the other companies that they work with. But whatever is on here, like this one, which is an important one to you, Mutual of Omaha, this is a great one. United Omaha Life, Underwriting Tips and Advantage Express Underwriting Guide. You have the Living Promise, which is the big one. And then I recommend that everybody learns their term products too and know what they have to offer. If you run into the fact that you find somebody that's healthy and it's a possibility to get them big numbers, throw it out in front of them. If you let somebody buy term, it's always a way to get back in the door later too. So that's a little sales trick of the trade. It's probably not the best thing for them, but it depends. If they're young enough, I mean, who knows? People die too, and they get that. But this teaches you about the products. This is Living Promise. This is an important piece of the puzzle. I like to keep these things for my future in advertising and marketing the company. So anyway, you go through Living Promise. We click on Living Promise. We get everything that we need to know about this particular product. And we also have webinars also on this stuff too. Legacy, I wanted to say that there's something else in here. There's a lot of different things in it. Oh, the mobile quote. Is this what you're talking about? The iPipeline downline? Net track links?
I'm not sure. I think so. Like I said, I haven't used it.
Okay, I won't putz with this right now, but maybe that's not a moving part. But here's where you go to train. You go to the university. You go down here to the carriers and product knowledge or training resources. Both you have access to that. You have all these carriers. You have some of them come with webinars too. Some of them don't. But again, you come down to UW University, you come over here to Training Resource Library and National Trade. There's sales training calls on here that you could put. I assume that you could put those to a thumb drive or a CD and put them into your telephone at the gym or in your car or whatever, whatever. Here's mortgage protection, which has everything that you can think of about mortgage protection. The phone script, if you look at their phone scripts compared to what I'm telling you to do, but here's what they do here, which is also good. In this part right here, it says, hello, John, Jason, John, this is Jason. You would send in a request for mortgage protection info on $100,000 loan. Do you remember filling that card out? It explains to you, even with final expense, why you're saying these things. So it's important to address them by their first name, so as not to appear to them as a telemarketer. That's important. Don't say that Mrs. Jones or Mr. Jones. Say Patty. So if you're doing that, you need to stop that immediately and correct that. Say their first name. And then it explains to you all the way through this, the things that you need to do and why you're doing them. And then your financial action plan, a sample mortgage protection lead, your phone referral script even, which is important. Even in final expense, let me go back to final expense because that's all you're working with now. And then I'll let you guys go. But this is important, so you can go play with this instead of listening to me. But I just want to make sure you got it. When I go to final expense, I want this to be, I think you should just totally print out everything that's on here and follow this thing step by step, day by day, and do it even better than I have. Yes, I printed everything out. Have I read every single thing? No. Even I say that I don't need things that I probably should read. I want you to be better than me, to be honest. Reaching the target process, mindset for the call. That part's like vital, important, the mindset that you're in. Setting appointments with older leads. Let's see what this has to say. Objections. When calling to set an appointment or door knocking with an older lead, your mindset will be the key to determining success. That's just absolutely vital and important. It is so important. Phone objections. What's up? Yep.
Something I just ran into, so how you would handle it.
Yeah, go ahead. Let them hear it.
Okay. So I'm calling a mortgage protection lead. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah. I'm sure they can, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm calling mortgage protection lead, and I always use the same script, and I say, hi, this is Alyssa calling on behalf of, we'll just say Wells Fargo Bank. Key is, I'm calling on behalf of Wells Fargo Bank. You had requested information for mortgage protection. Do you remember that? So this guy was a total asshole, and he's like, you're not calling from my bank on a Sunday night.
No, I'm not. You're right.
I said, sir, I'm calling on behalf. Well, behalf insinuates that you are calling from my mortgage company. You are not calling from my mortgage company. You're obviously a life insurance agent who makes a commission off me purchasing a life insurance policy with you. I said, exactly, sir. That's how I earn my living. Once again, I don't cold call anyone. I'm calling on behalf of them. You're not calling on behalf of them if you don't work for them.
All right. Well, why don't you bring the phone in here and let me call so we can see if I can. I'm going to do I'm going to show you guys how to work an asshole. Let's cover a few common objections you may get when setting appointments on the phone. I thought you were going to just mail me something. I'm going to say what I say before even reading it. We'll see how close I am because I don't know. I haven't read this in quite some time. You know what? I would have done that. I don't fit in the mailbox, though. I am the information, Mrs. Jones. The great thing about me coming is because I'm able to get you more discounts than just the people on TV can. That's why I'm a brokerage, is for my abilities, or lie in my ability to get you all the discounts that I can for your life insurance protection. So tomorrow, 1 o'clock works. I'm going to get you the best discounts out. I'm going to get you the most discounts. And you're not going to believe the price. It'll be like 50 cents a day. So I'll see you tomorrow at 1. Does that work? Do you hear what I just said? I'll see you tomorrow at 1. I didn't ask. I told him. Let me call this imbecile.
He just called us back.
Just 631?
Yeah. New York. He's a New Yorker. He just called us back.
Get ready for war. He might be nice now. Let's see if he changes.
Because it's a man?
How old is he?
I have no clue.
What's his name? Adam, this is Jason. I'm the owner of the company that called on behalf of your. Shit, did I switch over? Adam, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? It's Jason, the owner of the company, with Alyssa, that called you about the mortgage protection information. If you're not interested, that's fine. But do you want me to mail it to you? I'll get you a quote. Anything I can do to help?
Was there a reason that she was going off on me at the end?
Oh, you know what? It might have been for the fact that you stated, I don't know, I wasn't there. I don't know, but I don't know what that means. But I'd like to get past that, and hopefully I can work with you instead of her. So, you know, I apologize, and I'll handle that. But I have it recorded, so you don't have to tell me what happened. I'll just listen to it for training reasons. So I would like to work with you, if that's okay, Adam. I mean, if you want to.
Information if you'd like.
Okay, let me ask you this. Would it be better? Can I send an email? That'd be better than emailing it to you. Do you have an email, Adam?
Sure. It's my last name _Adam@yahoo.com.
Oh, you know what I just figured out, Adam? I don't know if this works for you, but I don't know if this works for you at all, but this would be neat if it did. On Tuesday, I'm open all day. Is there a time when I'm in Clearmont, since I have a doctor's appointment, I put your packet together. It's easier for me to show it to you than to email it to you. This way, I can promise you I can get you more discounts that way. And I'll tell you what, Adam, if you don't like the way I do anything, just throw me out and no big deal. I got 15 people a week doing, you know, I see anyway. I don't want to say they all buy, but.
Unfortunately, I'm in and out all week long. So
I'll tell you what, that day in particular is kind of weird because my last appointment seems to be at 9 p.m. So that works all week long. Actually, I only do this till Wednesday. I'm in the field, and then the rest is towards training reps. But would any of those days work all the way till, if it takes me to midnight? It doesn't matter. I've been in homes at that time too. The most important thing is getting you the information to me. So what do you think about that?
The information for the email.
I'll tell you what, here is the information. If you die, they pay the house off. That's as far as we can go with that. And I can show you 48 different carriers, and you choose a carrier. Is there a certain company that you would prefer?
Well, no, you said that you already worked the numbers up, so.
Well, no, I didn't work the numbers up. I put a proposal together with different organizations. It's kind of like a guess who to use type situation, because I don't know anything about you. I don't know if you're a cancer survivor, have diabetes, overweight, 10 feet tall. You know, it all adds up, as you know. I know you know how this works, and unfortunately for this particular product is a little more difficult to do than it is for regular life insurance.
Right, I understand.
I'll tell you what, let me call you next week. You sound busy, man. I'm going to call you next week and see if you're open.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, Adam. So that's all you can do. You got an asshole, but here's the point. We didn't lose him, but no, he put the blame on her. And believe me, guys, I can hear. Well, not like swearing and stuff like that, but I can hear through the door. Go ahead and take this stuff and let's continue what you're doing. So don't ever be like that, okay? You guys have to get motivated about dialing. You got to be, that has to be the number one thing, that you're so motivated to make dials. Like, be very motivated to be dialing. You know what I mean? Don't start getting the lapse of luxury on life in general and making a lot of money and then slow down on dialing. Because there is a difference, I promise you, between a $10,000 a week and a $30,000 a week. It changes your whole game. And once you make $10,000 a week, you're going to want to try to make 20. And that's the interesting part of the game. But here's the first step, is making your first 1,000 a week. So, and you're not that far away. We're talking about 2 apps, but you can't do it without the leads or the door knocking. So Heather, I want you to call Diane, and I want you to get in on that home. Get in on that door knocking thing with her and get her out in the field, and you two do it together. You go to the door, you two study together, meet. Here's my suggestion, Heather, meet an hour or 2 before you even go out and study the hell out of this material that you're about to print up. But I want you to try to do it my way more than this way, because I feel that my way has been designed in a way where it's around this. This is for the average person. I think you're better than average, all right? I just think you don't have enough people to see. So make sure that you, Heather, now have product knowledge down and you get in some homes, because that's the principle of becoming a better rep, is getting in front of people and learning how to do this business right, because you need to fail, but as long as you're failing forward, fail forward. So I thought you were going to mail me something. That's what we tried to do. I am the information. Unfortunately, I have to try to get you as many discounts as possible. That's my job. I'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Thank you. Or another response to them was, well, there are over 30 different programs you are qualified to receive more information for, so I'll run through qualifications for you. Big in word, I have to qualify you. The rest of it can be done through the mail. It is not a long, drawn-out affair. Make sure that they understand that. It is not a long, drawn-out affair. Some great words to use. I already have that. Great. I'll tell you what, let's have it out on a table so when I get there, we can review that, but also see what you qualify for into the future, because this stuff's based on health and age. And I'm going to tell you something, you probably still qualify for some great products, so you want to do it now, not 5 years from now. Let's get this out of the way and get it taken care of, and you never know. There's always you may want to check out what your product holds for your future too. You never know what you purchase until another set of eyes like mine, of professionals, are on it to tell you whether it's term, it's whole life, it has cash value, and those are good things to know. So I'll see you tomorrow at 1. Everything I say goes back into the appointment. Like, I don't wait for an answer. I'm the frickin' answer. So your job is to get in the house. Who are you with? I'll tell you what, I'm a broker, so I have many companies. And the first one you guys need to mention is Mutual of Omaha is one of our larger carriers. That's one we use a lot out of. But this says I am licensed and regulated through the state of California. That's a good point. I am licensed through the state of Pennsylvania, Florida. This program with you, and we have numerous people in your area that people in your area get these benefits. Again, I'll be over. So I tell them, look, I'm a licensed rep in the state of Florida. I'm a broker, and I have many, many carriers. One of our main carriers is Mutual of Omaha. Is this life insurance? No, it's more like final expense life insurance. So it means it takes care. I designed this wording so it takes care of the particular idea that they're out to take care of. Well, that all depends on what you want it for. Life insurance can be used for many things, but you requested final expense life insurance, which could be used for any reason on earth, but at the same time, you usually want to take care of your final arrangements with it, or probably leave some money behind. Who's your beneficiary? If you were to get something, or maybe you have life insurance, who's your beneficiary? And I can start a conversation on that, or I can just, again, go from, is this life insurance? This is final expense life insurance, and it takes care of your final arrangements. So that's the information that I have for you. I'm going to qualify you and get you as many discounts. I'm going to qualify you and get you as many discounts. And again, I'm going to qualify you and get you as many discounts as possible so I can see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'm going to qualify you and get you as many discounts. You see how many things you have, how many barriers you have to get through to really be successful? 1, 2, like 3, 4, maybe 5. That's it. I'll tell you what, guys. I think that, well, let me open this mic back up and see if you have any. Hey, do you have any questions on this, Heather or Brian? On this thing here.
I was actually reviewing the same stuff because you told us about it earlier and go through those scripts. And again, it's a refresher for me. So
good.
Doing it and being more of a reflex after handling enough of them.
Heather, do you have any questions on this particular page?
No, I'm just going to get in there and start looking through everything.
Okay, why don't we do that then, and you guys get out there and take care of that part of your game, and then I can help Alyssa do what she's doing. And then Brian, as soon as I get my shit together this week, we'll just do what I told you to do this week. Get your training in. You're going to need it anyway. So whether you do it now or do it when you're in the field, I was going to send you 300 Tampa Bay leads. I wanted you to go out this week and use the carriers you have. You're going to need to call the carriers, and you're going to need to get as much as you can off of them as a new rep. To ask Alyssa what you need as a new rep, maybe either later on tonight or tomorrow, meaning you need apps, obviously, what products you need apps for, things like that. So what carriers you have right now, get things ordered from them. Heather, I want you to contact Diane, and I want you to get you two out into the field, and I want you to train together on this stuff, and quiz her and quiz you, and then train her on things that you know need to be done to her, and train her on her attitude, her mentality. If she starts pulling you down, you straighten her up or you disown her, all right? No negative. You can't be in a car with somebody that's negative, okay? You just can't. It doesn't work. Please don't do that to yourself. You can give it a shot, mix your leads together, and go door knock and have some fun as two girls out there just trying to make a buck for now, okay? And that's all we have for today, unless you guys have more questions. That's it. That's all I got. I'm sorry I couldn't set appointments, but phone sucks, you know. I'll talk to you guys this week sometime. If you need me, just text me any questions that you have, and I will see you guys on the beaches of the world, hopefully, huh? All right, I'll talk to you guys.